Good morning and welcome to a brand new week on Jasiri, where we tackle the tough, controversial, and trending topics with wit and wisdom. I wasn't around on Friday, but I'm sure you didn't miss me because the ladies more than, of course, made up for my absence. You had fun because I was watching you where I was.
How can you be watching? How could you be
Why
watching?
Why would I not be watching?
Where were you?
Where were you? Where were you?
Where I was preoccupied.
Wow.
I apologize.
The preoccupation.
My absence was unfortunately absolutely necessary at the very last minute.
Just
are you listening to how they use English to scatter?
Absolutely.
It was absolutely, what did you say? Absolutely.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Unfortunately. Anyways, I did you proud. I came in fashionably and I was telling them,
listen,
guys, we need to wrap up. Guys, we need to go. We need to.
Yes. And we wrapped up. I wrapped it now.
Yeah, you
wrapped it to close.
Wow.
And I was so happy. I said, yes, I did it, actually.
As well.
Because just something to... Anyways, before we jump into the fray, let's start with a little nugget of joy. Did you know that despite all the challenges we face here, Nigeria has been ranked as the 8th happiest country in Africa?
I don't think that's
Yes, because we're happy that the Naira is crashing.
South Africa.
We're happy with the chaotic situation. We're happy with the fuel scarcity. It's so exciting, isn't it?
So, but guys, can we please get that back up? Because when you look at the rankings, we are 8th. Mauritius, Algeria, South Africa.
What's making Algeria happy?
Congo.
What's happening there?
Do you know? The DR Congo.
Do you know? I'm not even surprised.
War-torn DR Congo.
Yes, I'm not surprised that they are saying Guinea, Cote d'Ivoire, Gabon. Have you not noticed that they're francophone countries? Those people don't have issues now.
Cote d'Ivoire, they don't just have a coup.
Just play your sukus, play your music, and that's it.
Yeah. No, I feel like they're judging this thing based on what country laughs the most.
Laughs the most?
Yes, maybe because we laugh a lot. They think that we're happy.
So I actually had to go and do a little research on this because me and the producer were fighting. I'm like, what are they basing this off of? So the 6 key factors that were considered were social support. I don't understand. Income. I don't understand. Health. I don't understand. Freedom. I don't understand. Generosity. Nigerians are generous. And absence of corruption. I don't understand. So the ranking also assigns a happiness score on a scale of 0 to 10 based on an average over 3 years. Now, Mauritius is rated the happiest country in the continent with a happiness score of 5.90. They say it's because it's an extremely happy landscape and a diverse culture.
Let's go. So
wait, first, how do you even judge happiness based on generosity?
So how generous your society is. But Nigerians are generous.
We are generous.
It is not a criteria for happiness.
It's a criteria. They say that when you are generous and you give, it releases all these good hormones, oxytocin and endorphins that make you feel good.
But I consider Nigerians very generous. We're very hospitable too.
Freedom of choice, do we have that?
No, how about the social thingy?
Social support, that whatever you need.
Well, we support our people.
Well, social support,
if you
I don't
go
know
for
about
me, they
that.
give you money.
Income.
Well, I think when it comes to your neighbors, when you're maybe neighbors or people close to you.
Honestly, I think
perhaps because we
should stop talking. Because I don't really understand. Are you getting like a messiah complex? So you are really now, you are bragadoing and thinking you are blood of Jesus are saying.
Hold on.
And they say we're happy.
We're talking about
and they say we're happy. Look at the transfer of aggression.
No, really. Because I can hardly look at her. The blood is right in my face.
And the strawberries in my eye.
No,
I'm sorry, not sorry that I look so fabulous.
I thought you wanted to fly.
So we're getting a play on language.
Wow, did you hear that? I believe I can fly.
No, she's a super girl for today.
I believe I can. The buyers on this table, blessings, I empathize with you.
But let's come back to something. I'm going to pause it. That's why you missed me. Let's come back to something. Exactly. Because, we've talked about this whole condition make crayfish bend. Nigerians are able to be resilient in everything.
My sister.
No, so today we do national pidgin day. We will speak pidgin on this show.
I'll be silent.
Condition make
It
took me like 3 seconds to understand what she was.
Pillar.
Please go ahead. That condition, we know.
Anyway.
What do you they talk of?
I was talking about the fact that it seems to be the resilience that Nigerians have and our ability to turn everything into comedy that makes us the happiest people. Well, because we will joke about everything.
No, don't say that makes us. We're not. I don't agree with this metric.
I don't agree with this
that makes them think that we are, but we're not happy. Nigerians are waking up every day trying to cope, and there's somebody somewhere is saying that we're happy because we're laughing.
This was from 2023. I don't know what will be if they do 2024.
If I see number
we are
6.
happy. No, but really, we are happy people. When we go, we have a Tolu. I'm with Tolu on this.
Do you remember that song? We are happy people, we make you happy.
Yeah.
We are H-A-P-P-Y. We are P-E-P-L-E.
I can't relate.
We are happy
At this
people,
point,
we
me too, I
make you
can't
happy. Shina Peters that year. You don't know.
If I tell you one story about Shina Peters. Let's move.
Oh my God.
So no, but that's true about Shina Peters.
Yeah.
I'm a boy.
No, I'm just
You
saying.
want us to trend again?
Oh God, I miss you guys.
Listen.
Catherine,
Usually-
don't talk about your family.
Composure. I promise.
On this show, we're talking about Nigeria ranking as the 8th happiest country in Africa, despite all the economic hardships. You know, when we start the show, we usually don't plan for it to be like this, but it is what it is. It has an organic movement that is directed only by God. It's not in our hands. Anyway, so what does that say about us as a nation? Are we the masters of resilience or the masters of denial?
Masters of denial.
You think?
If we were in the West, the majority of Nigerians would probably be on Prozac. We'd probably be if it was a country that gave all these psychotropic drugs, many of us would be on Prozac to manage the depression.
Maybe we're on our own version of Prozac here.
I think so.
Honestly,
I think so.
I believe that it's a good thing that we have this kind of coping mechanism. But I would say whatever you want, right? It's a well-known fact that Nigerians have a way of finding joy and laughter even in the toughest times. But that's not to say that we're the happiest people. I still have a challenge with that judgment. But at the end of the day, it's all about perspective, right? I guess. Anyway, stay tuned for more. The ladies of Jasiri are right back. We're complete today, and we're bringing you laughter, fun, thought-provoking conversations right here on Jasiri. We will be right back.
Welcome back. Now, remember, we are streaming live on all our social media platforms. We are at News Central TV. Please use the hashtag Jasiri to be part of the conversation, so we know that you're watching. And today, we're starting something different. You know, we're always bringing new things. A lot happens between Friday and Monday. You know, morning. So we thought it's very important that we keep our fingers on the pulse of what's happening around us and catch up on the juicy stories from the weekend. So today, we are starting off this morning. Tolu, take us away.
Away.
I know, right?
The hardships in the country are growing. So is the shade on this table. But let's focus. We heard about the truckload of yam that was looted in the middle of a Lagos market. Then the Dangote truck up north, which was also raided. Now, over the weekend, there was another incident in Abuja where residents broke into a warehouse to steal food. Talk about stark contrast to the happiness index.
And they say we are happy people.
Honestly.
Happy people can be hungry people.
Oh, happy, hungry people.
Does that
They
even
say
work?
the
HHP.
hungry man is an angry man. I don't know where the happiness is coming from.
So this is what we're seeing on our screens. This video has made its rounds on social media with the warehouse initially being identified as a warehouse belonging to the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, but they came out with a statement to deny that, and we're hearing it's an agriculture warehouse. Whatever it is, it contained food stuff, and people broke in. So do we say everybody who broke in and is stealing is hungry, or are we going to deny the fact that some people are going to resell some of this food?
Normally, honestly, we're going through a situation in the country that I won't say, I think this is the worst that I've seen
in your lifetime.
In my lifetime, especially when it comes to hunger. I've heard of people in the Biafran time, at least that's even a war situation where they had to eat all sorts of things to stay alive. But right now, Nigerians are hungry. My kids went back to school yesterday. I won't even lie to you. I doubled up what we used to buy for provisions, and I still had to beg them to manage. Because it's not, even for everyone, the math is not mathing. And everybody is struggling to make ends meet. Everything you want to buy has tripled in price.
Yes.
You might just be so surprised that you would even see amongst these people that went to loot this warehouse, there are responsible people amongst them. But responsible without food.
Is that justification?
So I would even say that in addition to the hunger, or aside the hunger, some Nigerians are not very good people. And let's be honest, like Tolu said, it's not everybody that went there that is very hungry. There's some people that went there to take advantage of the hungry people. I mean, we're seeing people take advantage of the, crash of the Naira. You know, they base everything on the dollar. Oh, dollar has risen. So dollar, you pluck mango from a tree. Oh, dollar. Is it dollar? Is it to pluck the mango? So Nigerians always like to capitalize on people's hardship, take advantage of people's situation. That right now, somebody is going to sell it to a hungry person for an exorbitant price. So aside the hunger, right, the people who also are not nice, we need to do better as Nigerians. I've realized that, like, stop taking advantage of situations.
So I spoke to my mom on the way here, 17 minutes. She was saying again, Tolu, Emma manage. Because, so she's the one, I'll buy a lot of things. I'll send her money. Then when we go to Obumasho, we'll pick it up and bring back. So she bought me a bath of Gary in December, 8.5. This morning, my mom told me a bath of Gary is 19,000 plus.
Oh!
19,000 plus.
In Ogbomoso,
where they do Gary everywhere around you. A bath of Gary is 19,000. I remember, I told you last week, I sent Corday to buy bread. She went to buy by herself, 1.2. This week when I sent her to buy, she was coming. The bread in my neighborhood now is 1.5.
Exactly.
I also start baking bread again because it's just unsustainable.
Even baking bread, are you not going to buy flour? Are you not going to buy sugar? No. I'm just worried that I think this government, they are not reacting appropriately. Even in Bible times, when there was famine in the land, the government they had a mechanism to feed the country. Imagine we're in a state like famine, true.
Yeah.
So where are the silos?
There are national silos. They've ordered the release of grains. People have been asking for the past 3 weeks, have these grains been released? Are we feeling the effects in the markets? We do have national silos.
So, but you maybe because you're in the media, but the people that need it, is it getting to them?
That's what
just like all these packages that the government have been telling me they put in place. Oh, we had all the laudable things that Governor Sanwo-Olu said he was going to do.
Even the mama put.
I enjoyed it.
No. I can confirm that one is actually in the works.
There will always be.
I am saying that it's great and laudable, but I want to see it happen. So I want it go beyond the paper. I want to see it happening in real time.
So let's talk about that in terms of happening in real time, because our people are a stumbling block. Blessing said something. We're not nice people. And we need to acknowledge that Nigerians are
I was going to say that.
So I don't know if you've seen the viral video. I think it's the Commissioner of Agriculture in Lagos. You know that Mushin Sunday market or Saturday market? It's only on Saturdays. Yeah. But the story is that they went to the market people in the neighborhood, come and do this thing with us. They said no. They had to go and get market people from Mile 2 or Mile 12 to be the ones who are bringing the food stuff. When everybody saw how it was going, the market people in that neighborhood now enter, they buy, and then they want to resell. Because they're buying at a discount. Is that not us? Is that not who we are?
But we're the ones that are. What are we saying, Tolu?
And that
we are the ones that are creating our own drama.
Exactly.
Where the leadership is showing the people shaking. Don't you know that we just take what we see and we multiply it and we become even a more hideous
Are we
creature?
taking what we see? Are the people that are there coming?
So when you read about all the monies that they are looting in Abuja, when you read about all those things, what do you think it makes the people to become?
Wait, Lolo, because there's a saying that says life imitates art, or is it art that imitates life? In this situation, they don't come from heaven. Our leaders are not coming from God. They're coming from among us, a behavior that has been among us for now generations. So how do you expect them to get there and then be saints among sinners?
And that means nobody in this country is good.
Nobody's good.
So one of our guests said something one day that the government is a reflection of the people.
Absolutely.
Yes, because that's how, they grew up in the neighborhood. So if our government is like that, we need to ask ourselves, that means this is how we are.
No, but seriously, that is how we are. Because if we're looking at people going to places where grain are stocked and you're trying to steal yams, for example, let's even take a look at what happened in Benue before Lagos and now in the north. And you would go there and you would take what you see. You will not just take what you see. You will go and call your neighbor, Mama Emeka, what do you do for house? Come on, this is what's happening there. Mama Emeka will carry her load and go there and take what she can take and go home. But you're doing it. There's some, as we've said here, that some that will still do that and resell. So we are not very good people. What does that tell us? We say, oh, it's the government. It's not the government.
I think it's high time we started. I think it's high time we had an introspection, because this thing started as a joke, and at first we were blaming it on the government. You know, when the whole COVID-19 thing started, they were going into warehouses to loot, and they were giving the excuse of, oh, it belongs to us and nobody is sharing it. And everybody subscribes to that, oh, that's true.
And
we're just taking what belongs to us.
Different.
That's what I'm saying.
It's an extension.
That's what I'm saying.
Woman in Ilukweju, that the government actually made palliatives available for the people.
And
but she was sharing it as her
birthday.
Exactly. Now we've even gone to the streets. We're now doing broad daylight robbery. Was it a truckload of, was it yam or rice? And people hopped on it and took things. God. That's theft.
I felt bad for that, because whoever
owns that truck.
How many of our business people do insurance on yams, on grains? They just want to bring something from the north and supply their suppliers in the market. Yeah. You don't want to know the thousands or the millions that whoever owns that truck.
Exactly.
And nobody is talking about that, because where is the fallout of that going to come from?
So let me tell you about the fallout. And I think this is another part that will turn around, because we're hearing that 15 suspects have been arrested. So that warehouse belongs to the Federal Capital Development Authority, and 15 suspects have now been arrested. Yeah. People will be saying, why are you arresting them? That they're hungry. But at this point in time, it's beyond that. Yes. We heard that labor lawmakers are saying that the government should stop infrastructure development, and for the next 6 months, focus on giving money or making sure they're feeding people. So many different things are happening, but we are still Nigerians in the long run. When you talked about COVID, I remember one of the first stories I covered when I started as a reporter, the World Bank had given insecticide-treated nets. Those nets disappeared. Do you know where I saw those nets when I was a reporter in Abuja? On the streets, being sold.
Exactly.
This is not a today thing.
You would even see it on the body, not to be sold.
Yes.
They stamp it on it. Milk, those ones going for IGP cards.
And we really need to do better. But anyways, ladies, still on the contrast of this happiness index, which I do not agree with, one of Nigeria's leading telcos disconnected 4.2 million lines not linked to NIN. That's the National Identification Number. I doubt if that made anybody happy.
And yes, totally. It really is causing a stir among subscribers who are now scrambling to link their NINs to their phone lines before they get disconnected. It's like a race against time for so many people. And it's annoying because they give you leeway, they give you time. But Nigerians just like to sit on things.
You know how many extensions this thing has had? Let's also talk about the fact that the NCC, which is the industry regulator, in December had asked telcos to bar an estimated 12 million lines that had not been linked to the owner's NINs after the expiration of the February 28th, 2024 deadline. That was just last week. Now, just a few days ago, the NCC reaffirmed its stance on the matter and ruled out an extension of the deadline.
No, but seriously, does the NCC know? Really, are they aware and conscious of the fact that there can be so many factors that hinder or hamper these things? A lot of Nigerians are already frustrated. There's the technical issues like, okay, there's no network, there are long queues, and there's also the frustration of being outside in the heat, and they treat Nigerians who are waiting to get their NIN linked like it's a long thing. It shouldn't be that difficult. It's something that actually you should be able to sit in the confines of where you are and, tap a code in and log into and just link it and it's done.
But you know that easy is never Nigeria's way. Anything that is not complicated is not something we want to do. Because you can easily go to our local government, honestly, should be everybody in that neighborhood hub for everything. You can just go there, register for your NIN, do all your local business in there.
Your community.
But when you get there, trust me, it is a journey.
No network, first of all, that's what we hear. No network.
By the time you see those people say there's no network, but once you shake hand like this, network will just appear on the phone.
Exactly.
And you do what you have to do in record time. But you have to just keep bribing, you have to keep putting money in hands. We need to do better as a people, because this culture is destroying more than it's building.
And we kind of get used to the fact that, our Nigeria, that's so it be. Is what do we do now? You actually see people who say that, what do I do now?
And I think we're now at the point where we're no longer expecting convenience, right? Because of the bottlenecks that we have created for ourselves. Yes. When you go to a place and they tell you that when you go there, just ask for so and so person, get it done. You don't believe that you can. Yeah. And because most of the time, actually you can't. There are people there that there shouldn't be queue. But for some reason, people are fighting to be number. Why? Why? When you can actually, it's just 5 of you, but you must be the first person. And because of that, we create this unnecessary bureaucracy, long let's use the word process. And then we now make it so tedious for ourselves. So a normal and average Nigerian in their house, when they hear go and get your NIN links,
they have to pick up.
Exactly. They're
psychologically,
like,
it's going to
mentally,
carry your water can.
I won't lie.
Because honestly, I've even fallen victim of that. There's sometimes where I go somewhere and I'm like, wait, that's all?
That's all.
I've been stalling for weeks just to get this done because I feel like it's not going to be
because
easy.
of your previous experience. And then one other thing I want us to notice, in these situations, you'll just see all these random people around.
Yes,
auntie,
agents.
help me. Auntie, I'll help you.
Yes.
Auntie, let me help you do this. You don't need them for anything.
Honestly.
I'm about to test it because we need to renew my daughter's passport. And I've been asking I won't lie. I've said before, having to do any documentation in Nigeria gives me anxiety.
Yes,
I'll start, my brain starts, and then I'll start thinking, okay, who do I know? Because let me tell you, even if the process is long, but the process is straightforward, we will do it. But the process is not just long, it's complicated, it changes mid-process, you'll be pausing, it's
and
ridiculous.
then there are people somewhere in there that now have the God complex. They will just sit on the process.
God.
Do you know that I was on the island? I'm sorry, I was driving through somewhere, and then this guy just stood in front of my car and said, park, stop and park. I'm like, what? Because of the fear, at first I was going to park, and I said, wait, why? He
and
said,
who
come
are
and
you?
park. He now calm down and said, come and park and pay. So apparently it's just those people that sell parking spaces.
Can you imagine?
I'm not even parking, I'm just driving through and he just stood in front of park. I mean, I was almost going to park. I just asked, I'm like, why? He said, you want park?
And you know, another thing is that these agents, so-called agents, they actually have principals inside.
Yes.
So they are the ones that make the process so difficult so that they can go to their own people, so that they can have cutbacks, kickbacks.
If we got rid of all those, a lot of the people who loiter around many of these situations, we'd find it much more streamlined. But we're talking NIN. BVN is a massive issue as well. People have gotten messages, but let's think about it in terms of the numbers, because what they've said is that based on average revenue per users, we could see telecom companies lose up to 83.3 billion naira per month because of this. But come back to this NIN. What if that's my business line? But if it's my business line, would I be playing with it? Shouldn't I have done it before? So at that point Lolo made in terms of us dragging things, we drag things. The last time they wanted to cut off BVN. Remember how many people ran to the bank security? But why do we drag things out? Why?
But we like to wait until
because we know we can cut corners, Lolo.
Because we also
know we can go there and give somebody 1,000 naira and you'll jump to the front of the queue. That's why.
I think it's a combination of the bureaucracy and would I say lackadaisic attitude? Because when I remember the BVN thing, I was doing I think a Vox Pop that period, and the queue that I saw.
No, it was bad.
In my mind, people were literally, there was a lady that was crying. She was like, I need to be at work. I can't go to work because I need to get this done. And then after I think 2 hours, she was like, you know what? I'm not doing this again. If it's important, they'll find a way to make it easier.
And remember, people had to come from out of the country.
Yes.
To come and do BVN.
So would you tell me that lady will want to come back? She'll just feel so, you know what? I don't think I want to do that
Exactly what
anymore.
I said. There has to be ways that you make it easier and adaptable. There's some people that like the analog way of actually going to the bank. You need to physically get there. I commend you. I don't have anything against that. There's some people who are also moving with the times who feel that everything should be softwared in the sense that I can go on an app and I can download this and do this and upload what I need to upload and say, yeah, basta. We know that we are done and we move on.
Yes, bastard. I know.
That's what I heard, actually. That's what I heard.
So, guys, this conversation is obviously a wake-up call for everyone to get their documentation in order. Nigeria is moving towards that place where you won't be able to do anything without these particular things, the national identification number or the bank verification number. And then we also have to think about the vulnerable population, those who are unbanked in Nigeria, what happens to them in terms of identity, who may not also have easy access when it comes to the registration process. So this particular telco is everywhere you go, even in the far ends and reaches of Nigeria. But what happens when there's a lack of access to centers? Network is down. I've experienced that. They said network is only from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m.
I say there's no.
And then you get to a center, they tell you the network is down. It's like, we have nets that don't work. It's horrible.
Or they will even ask you, Auntie, you want to hotspot us?
Can you, use your hotspot to do your own.
I was in awe when I heard that for the first time. I said, what did you say? He said, yes, if you want to do your own, just do share your hotspot.
Abi, you are paying for it.
I owned it.
Because you wanted to do it and go.
If you don't want to do your stuff, we're all looking for how to get these things done because they're extremely important.
Yeah.
Just as Tolu said, You just want to get this documentation.
And just move on to the next.
NIMBVN, are we not talking about almost 2.5, 3 years?
Yes, now.
These things have been on and government has been stressing them for 2.5. But you know, this is what makes me ask about the National Orientation Agency.
It's a safe way just going around in
That's just an agency that is lying in limbo.
Okay, is it part of the
they also need
agencies?
They need to be orientated.
They need to be, yeah.
Honestly, because they're supposed to pass the Orosai.
No. Let's go to
say 12 years after. It's like film. You know, we'll just be on this table. They just say Jasiri. 19 years later, our producer will put it on top. All of us would have aged.
It's not me and you.
Guys, let's move on. Let's move on to some, well, not so happy news. I'm sure we've all seen the news about the passing of two of Nollywood's actors. Listen, no one saw it coming, Mr. Ibu and Sisi Quadri. It's truly a big loss for the country's entertainment industry.
Yes,
I didn't expect it at all.
Honestly, I had goose pimples, cats. It's very heartbreaking to hear about their deaths. And it's so sad that even more painful that, you know, they were both incredibly talented actors who brought so much joy to their audiences across the country. Their contributions to the film industry would always be remembered and cherished. It is indeed a sad day for the entertainment world. And we on this table, we can only pray that both their souls will continue to rest in peace. I have good pimples because Sisi Quadri was so animated. You know, he brought out that Ibadan humor. When he finishes you with abuse like this, you would have to ask that, sir, who is supplying all the knowledge?
Honestly, it was just
animated.
It was a gift, to be honest, because most times I see his videos, I'm like, how does he just go on and on and on? And
never stops.
What we see is that, you know, Nollywood actors have died, but I also saw videos of these people's family. I saw one of Sisi Quadri's son. The guy was just looking numb, and I was like, please hold this boy. This boy is not crying. He's not saying anything. He's just staring. Like, it was really so sad. And in the midst of all of this, I honestly don't know why we can't just let people be and take things at face value. I question this happiness index because Nigerians can also be very insensitive, right? We heard about the pastor who was insinuating. I mean, I think he put Mr. Ibu alongside one other man of God, and he said that Mr. Ibu's death was as a result, not verbatim, but I'm paraphrasing now, that Mr. Ibu's death was as a result of him not serving God. So if you serve God, basically you live longer. And it's been all over my timeline. People are outraged by the pastor's comments and are even calling him out for being so insensitive and very, very judgmental. Who told you that Mr. Ibu was not serving God? Who told you that the pastor, this is no disrespect to any man of God and all that, but we don't see these people's lives inside. What we see is just them on the pulpit. So even if that is the criteria, how do you know that the person you're judging is not the one serving God? And, you know, vice versa. We need to stop this insensitivity. It's annoying.
I think it's also the fact that as people now, social media hasn't harmed us. We're the ones who are harming social media. I very much believe that he knew that this was going to trend one way or the other. He jumped on the trend of somebody who just died. There's no even autopsy report to talk about how he died. This man has been sick for a while. His leg was amputated. You know, all the scandal and controversy surrounding him and his family. In this time, this is what you decided to tweet. It is very highly inappropriate to even speculate on someone's cause of death. If the family wants to share that news with us, that's their decision to share. But is it until someone stands at the pulpit and they're shouting, Jesus, Jesus, before we believe that they are the ones serving God? And it's the same Bible that tells us in the final days, in the end days, and we tend to think of the days as days. Our time is not God's time. Days could actually be millennia. Days could be weeks. Days could be years when it comes to God's time. So in the final time, we know that there will be many false prophets who will claim to be prophets of God. Nobody can tell you who truly serves God in their hearts. There are a lot of people who are more, let me tell you, I know atheists that are nicer than Christians.
Yes.
And are we even
nicer than Christians?
I've always said it. This thing of victim blaming, we might want to shy away from it, but using religion to justify it, it's crazy. It's disappointing to see someone in a position of influence. You're spreading such harmful rhetoric. Did you forget that this same pastor, Adeboye, lost his son at 42 years old?
Oh.
I said, what would he say about that?
Thank you. I was just about to say, so how about the pastors who do not live as long as they expect? Are you saying that they're not serving God?
Jesus himself did not even live beyond 33. So I don't
now, what would they now say? If it was that time, they would say it's witchcraft.
It is highly insensitive. You know, when we say we want to look at someone and use a criteria, there are people that go to this person's church.
Yes.
And he can say such a rhetoric because he wants people to focus on him as a man of God. And I'm just a bit stupefied, like, how? How is that kindness? How is that Christian virtue?
How is that the fruit of the Spirit?
How is that the fruit? Yeah. So this can never be good. It can never be it can't serve God and his purpose. Do you know how many Sisi Quadri's family is crying? I said Dr. Hebrew. Mr. Hebrew, that was like Africa Mr. Bean. We grew up watching him. He was so animated without his face and the way he would do his thing.
He's made a lot of memes, and people, you know, it's the memes that people didn't know about him that is the memes that made people go to find out.
That film, You
know that sometimes, right, when I see, I actually got scared, you know, when he started having his health issues and all. And it started making me think, people who tweet things about people after their death, is it that they are waiting? Because he came out with his health challenges. You were not praying for him. You did not support in any way.
Based on our own arguments, we don't know if we prayed for him.
I'm even saying like generally Nigerians now and their tweets, because we're all keyboard warriors. You were not saying prayers for him. You were not, but you were ready to just lash out tweets after his death. And I want to quickly say, big ups to Rude Boy. Honestly, I don't know what he did. The fact that he did not do it for the public eye, and that thing that Mr. Ibu said before he died, I don't know if you saw the video where he was saying, if you no go heaven, call me Nama. It was very hilarious even before he died. It gave me goosebumps because people are out here saying, oh, what is happening to him? Oh, this one, now, I'm putting his leg again. And somebody is there doing his best to make sure that this person is, you know, gets his help quietly.
In his corner.
If you cannot pray for somebody, you cannot help financially.
Just keep quiet.
Shut up. And stop, like, we literally need to just shut up.
I think we need to rethink what religion means to us as a people, because I saw this as fear-mongering. We have a lot of religious leaders, and I'll call them leaders because unfortunately once they get on a pulpit, they have influence. Who use religion as a fear-mongering tool, who use religion as something to beat people over the head. And we need to talk to your people who have traveled out of the country. Their prayers are different than our prayers in Nigeria. Because there's a system that works. So we're not praying about the same things. We're not focused on the same things. So you now have to think about, really, is the current state of religion as it is formulated and being delivered to the people, serving the people?
Yeah, and I said it and I'll still say it again. When it comes to sensitivity, count Nigerians out of it, because it's the same Nigerians that are speculating about the timing of Peter Obi's condolence message about Sisi Quadri and Mr. Ibu. Now, he shared a post about Sisi Quadri, and anti-obedience jumped on it to say that it was a deliberate move to avoid a conversation around tribalism. Why?
What is wrong with people? He might not have known this person personally.
But you see, this is
you would know that they have to research for him. Yes. But as a leader, there is nothing wrong with that. The Bible will say that when people mourn, we should mourn with them. I don't know. I'm not even sure I met Sisi Quadri in his lifetime, but I do know his works, and I've known him for a long time. So it doesn't. Even Mr. Ibu, I've met him like maybe once or twice. You don't have to know him personally to be able to say something good about him. At least his team went and researched a little to write a few things about what the guy has done.
Nigerians, when Peter Obi went to watch the games, the football games, this same Nigerians were saying, the one we know concern you, what are you doing there? What are you... Now he's trying to put his mouth in what does not concern him. It's a problem.
It's almost as if you can't win.
You can't never with Nigerians. You can't.
They're damned if you don't.
You can't.
But again, at the end of the day, you're going to ask, why does he need to focus on the I like that term, anti-obedience. I didn't know that's what we're doing these days. But why focus on that? Because at the end of the day, we are celebrating individuals who've given their life's work, for the enjoyment. Maybe they're probably part of the people who are responsible for Nigerians being some of the happiest people.
Exactly.
Because let's not underestimate the impact of Nollywood, of our entertainment industry, of music, of music, and
even skits,
of music.
Yeah.
As in, you guys were singing Sheena Peters. Please, let's do another.
Boys and girls.
Hey. What's the rest of it?
Mommy and daddy.
Can I tell you guys something?
Yeah.
You're going to laugh at me. You know, Ijo Sheena.
Afi Ijo Sheena.
It's not Sheena.
Ijo Sheena. Okay, Kilo shall I see Ijo Sheena?
When I was growing up,
you danced shake out of it.
No, I danced shake out of it, but I used to think he was saying Hiroshima. And for the long, I didn't know he was saying Ijo Sheena until I came back to Nigeria. The day I told my husband, my husband said, no, I'm sorry, I've said this thing.
Hiroshima.
And I'm thinking, why is a Nigerian Fuji musician saying Hiroshima?
Somebody tell me to close my mouth.
But you know what? I'm not the only one. You know there are lyrics set in Genusi.
Yes,
normally. But they really scatter your childhood. I don't even want anybody to tell me.
My mother till today,
yes,
my mother still sings
forever.
See, that's
my mother still says undisputed, undisputed, and I'm like, Mom, is love is wicked. I'm like, undisputed,
yes.
and then undisputed, and then undisputed. I can't relate.
I'm happy we're able to end this segment on a laugh. It's not that we're laughing at the situation, but again, as Lolo said, we are sending our heartfelt condolences to the families of Mr. Ibu and as well as Sisi Quadri. We thank them for what they have given to Nigeria, to the entertainment industry, and we hope that their legacies, their inspiration continues to live on. We're going to take a quick time out. When we come back, there's a lot more on Jasiri.
All right, guys, welcome back to Jasiri. It be the pastors today. So just hold on to your seat because you're diving into some very spicy territory. Now, a Ghanaian bishop called out his countryman or countrymen for supporting Nigerian pastors more than Ghanaian pastors. Talk about crossing borders with controversy. Please relax and let's take a look at this.
Sometimes I am very surprised about Ghanaians, how hypocrisy we are. We don't respect our own, and we don't honor our own, and we don't love our own. We celebrate foreigners than our own. But there is no foreigner that will celebrate Ghanaian. Look at how Ghanaian members and Ghanaian Christians follow Nigerian pastors and respect Nigerian men of God and even Ghanaian pastors. That's why we kill all our prophets. That's why we kill all our men of God. As if we don't have anointed men of God in this country. After every prophet in Ghana is considered as fake. Every anointed man of God. Last week, one of the young men in Nigeria came to do prayer conference here. On over 50,000 people were there praying. Ghanaian too. But let me tell you,
honestly,
brotherly,
this is very traumatizing to even watch. Let's even consider the factors that contribute to the popularity of Nigerian pastors in Ghana and the implications for both countries' religious landscapes. And you know what's even more intriguing? The bishop's assertion that Ghanaian pastors are losing their relevance and influence due to the influx of Nigerian pastors.
First of all, Ghanaians, why are you hypocrisy now?
Why are you
hypocrisy?
I don't know.
Why are you hypocrisy?
I honestly thought the aim was to win souls for Christ.
For Christ.
I did not know
of whether you win souls from Sierra Leone, Nigeria, Ghana.
This is why they say when they bite you in the back, they push you forward. Because you would not, this is not me trying to be like, yes, now backbites, when they bite you in the back, they're pushing you forward. And then they're standing where they are. That's one thing. Like, why would you even, I don't think I've ever heard this before. I've never heard a US pastor ask, United States citizens, why are you guys going for experience in Nigeria? Why are you guys going to worship God there? Why can you worship God in the US?
Why would they have said that? Do you know how many years we used to listen to foreign gospel music?
It's not just
we love them. We idolize them.
Exactly.
And the world didn't come and say, oh, why Nigeria? Why are you loving America?
Do you know what this sort of reflects to me? Because you know that in these situations, it's not that you pay to enter, but there's offering. It feels like maybe we're taking away revenue.
What kind of revenue? If you see, that is where I'm beginning to fear this church thing. They are making it out like it's a business. The way I hear this man talking, he has nothing to do about God. He has everything to do about you are not looking at me, you are looking at them. Why am I not the one this is happening to? So even if you are looking at the Bible, this has its roots in jealousy, envy.
Yes,
because how do I begin to describe
cross-border jealousy?
actions?
Now, I'm not saying that Ghanaians generally are jealous people, but
no.
You guys have a trend, and I won't even lie. There was something that trended some time ago. A hair vendor went to Ghana. This person does well. She doesn't need Ghanaian money. She's been selling hair online, and Ghanaians have been patronizing. And she realized, okay, since Ghanaians are part of my market, I would go do sales there. And the funny thing is, some big vendors there buy from her. So she went there, did sales, and Ghanaians came. Do you know that these vendors, the association, came there and told her, pack your hair, go back to Nigeria. They did not allow her to sell. And she's like, everybody that came here buys hair from me. Why the jealousy? Why? It will not make you richer, right? And now it has
just like
into the
said,
church.
I remember.
It's not just now, because was it not a year ago, 2 years ago?
Yes.
They were chasing Nigerian.
They were chasing.
Them, were chasing.
I was going to say that. I was saying like 2 years ago, they were. In fact, it's like the government said were chasing Nigerian businesses out. Literally, they were making their businesses, a bit hard to do. They were putting stringent conditions and policies that was stifling, And remember when Ghana was suffering, we accommodated many of them in this country. Before their government started to pick up, and then they had this Ghana must go.
Yeah.
That was that time. Ghanaians must go. At that time, a lot of them were in Nigeria. They were shoemakers. They were cobbler. They were doing many things.
As a Nigerian, when you step on, I keep saying it. I've traveled to other African countries. As a Nigerian, you stand out.
Yeah.
They see a Nigerian and they think a Nigerian is coming to take over their world, and it's not a lie.
When a Nigerian
when a Nigerian sees an opportunity, they
make the most of it. Yeah,
we are charismatic by nature. We don't, and we are not in competition even with the Ghanaians that are closest. That
neighbor.
I don't even have a problem, right? Competes with yourselves, music-wise, competes in business, but why would it creep into the church?
Exactly. So because it's been creeping into business, when you don't stop it where it starts, you don't stop it along the way, we're going to find it entering into the house of God. Because last year, 2 years ago, was it not Shatawale? They were talking about the fact that he's tired of the fact that even in their clubs, they play Nigerian music, that they're not giving as much opportunity to Ghanaian musicians. And we see this thing, it happens in South Africa as well. Yes. There are clubs you go to in South Africa, they will only play South African music. If you say, was I also here? No. So I think we had this when AFCON was on, and it was a big issue. We can talk about the bats that happen on social media, the Jollof Wars. We've seen Senegal enter into the Jollof Wars. Be careful, this is between Ghana and Nigeria. I'm warning you. But beyond that, we really need to talk, I think, as a continent. One, we're not as interconnected as we'd like to be, and then we now have the African Continental Free Trade Area. You want us to do business?
I am wondering that everybody that says, "Oh, we are connected."
That's a discussion for another day, because we are not what Tolu said.
We're not connected.
We are not united in any way. Otherwise, if we were as united, we would make this continent so formidable that it would be.
I like the way other languages are jumping out. Honestly, it's just, I don't know. And the funny thing is, I stand to be corrected, but I don't see Nigerians having this trait. Nigerians are welcoming people. We can't be wicked, as in red pepper kind of wicked. We're welcoming. Like, I see some TikTok trends, right? This is not me trying to give credit to Nigerians, but there's certain South African dances that Nigerians will carry and make it trend and then send it back to and then everybody's dancing this dance. Yes. Even the Ivorian dance that they when they won the World Cup, there's this dance that they did. Nigerians took that dance. I love that dance so much. Why? Because some Nigerians started dancing it. Like you see Nigerian dance centers, dance academy, they're dancing it, and then now it's trending everywhere. So why is it that we are trying to populate what we're seeing in other nations without
this is a church? And I know I've been a Christian forever, and I know how many Ghanaian pastors that we've seen come into Nigeria to preach.
They're invited.
There's so many of them that are highly respected that come into Nigeria to preach. You see, that is where I begin to question these new generation pastors. Are you doing this for God or for your pockets? Because if it's about tithes and offerings and money and popularity, then let's call a spade a spade. It's no longer about God and His kingdom. It's about you and you wanting to be popular and loved and liked and worshipped.
Yes, now.
This was one events that had this man irate like this.
Like this.
But I also know in Ghana there are also Nigerian pastors who have churches. But this was one event.
And then
and even say a young man.
Yes.
No, is it because the pastor? His pastor is a very handsome, young, short-looking man. Did you have to qualify him as a young man?
Let's be honest. For him to have come out to say this,
Publicly.
it means that it's not just him that is saying this.
No.
There are lots of other pastors that are thinking alike, and he just voiced that. And what it will now lead to is, at the end of the day, before you know, someone is coming, maybe they're inviting a Nigerian singer and they're like, no, she can't come. No, he can't come. No pastor can come. A pastor will come to Ghana to preach, and when they find that, they'll come to that church and say, no, pack your things and get out. And then you're wondering, like, this is happening in church. I'm going to say this. If you have a problem with Nigerians taking over your congregation, then do better with your pastoring.
So that leads me to the next question. What is it about Nigerian pastors that seem to attract large followings? Because it's not just us here in Nigeria.
Yeah.
We do it in South Africa. We were doing it. We're doing it in Rwanda, even though they have laws not against Nigerian pastors, but they try to keep the religion thing down. You'll see it around the world. Is it the charisma, reputation? Is it a perceived spiritual authority? Where does it come from? Because
I think it's perceived.
Nigerians are.
I think we are. I would toe the line of perceived spiritual authority. Because when
who is closer to God? Is it a competition?
But you know that most of this preaching or church business, a lot of things that make maybe pastors popular is what I would call answer to prayer. If you worship, just chill. If you worship in this particular, why do you think churches grow? It's because people go there and they get some kind of fulfillment and maybe answers to the questions.
And they tie it to the church and the pastor.
And they tie it to where they got.
But they also have celebrities and things.
It doesn't even matter. I'm just saying that where people connect their faith and they believe they get answers from. That is what makes them stay there.
I also think that one thing that gives our pastors and ministers popularity is we ourselves as Nigerians. Nigerians like something that gives them hope because we don't suffer. So when someone opens a 5 a.m. worship, you're seeing 10,000 people. When it's 6 a.m. worship, you're seeing... So people outside are saying, oh, this person has a large following. They don't know that Nigerians are the ones following. And then you're giving... Exactly.
They're feeding into something that Nigerians desperately need to hold on to, which Blessing said. Hope. So my dear Ghanaian brother pastor,
you two do your show, do your preaching. If we see it as beneficial, we will follow down.
We will not be a hypocrite.
Maybe it's their tongue that we don't understand. Or maybe Nigerians don't understand because when they say the pastor,
and then you think it's...
Oh, okay.
Behave. It's okay. Just
really, because if you're talking about something, I think it's food. No, let's be honest. We need food. And then we're eating pasta. And what's coming to my mind is
exactly.
Blessings are supposed to take us away.
We can't.
Because it's like fly time. Blessings is flying.
Guys. Our time is up and we have to go. We hope you enjoyed yourself.
The blood is flying.
It's always a pleasure to be
guys, let's not be hypocrisy. See you again tomorrow.
Oh my God.
Why am I not moving?
You don't need more witchcraft in you.
So you want to be popular so that they can export the blood of Jesus.